Yeah, I'm never using this. That has just deflated 6 mil. In fact, it's still trying to deflate it. This is Tricky, welcome back to my channel, and today we're going to talk about catheter deliveries and different companies I've used too. So I have a little bit of experience with 2 different companies. Hopefully it will help you. If you're interested, keep on watching. But as always, these are my personal opinions, they're my personal experiences, they are not gospel, they are just one person's experience with 2 different companies, and you know, we all have different things we get from them companies, so keep that in mind that this is not guaranteed to be the way it happens for you, this is just the way it happens for me, and all I can do is show you my experience. So I've used 2 companies, as I've said before. I've used Charter and I have used Bladder and Bowel Community, they're also known as Bullens. So I was with Charter for 2 years and I've recently switched to Bullens. Personally, you know, I've had a lot of experiences with Charter and minimal experiences with Bullen, but already I can tell a difference by the way they look after their customers, and for me, I much prefer Bullens. I obviously left Charter for a reason, which I will get into. However, they are a good company. Like I said, I used them for 2 years. They seem to be the one that the NHS pushes on people, and they don't necessarily tell you that there are other options out there. There are other options out there. It's actually really easy to switch delivery company if you are having a couple of issues. If not, stick with it. If it isn't broke, don't try and fix it. So the bad experiences I had with Charter, I did have a couple. The first one was actually at the very first bit of my journey with Flow. So when I left the hospital after having Flow, which is my suprapubic catheter placed, I had very minimal supplies. I mean, the hospital normally give you like a couple of bags and a couple of washouts if you've been trained to do it, etc. So I only had like very minimal supplies. I wasn't told how to order. I wasn't told that you need codes. Each product has a code at the back. I wasn't told where you'd be able to locate codes. I was just told I was with Charter and that's how that was going, which seems to be a lot of people's experiences. You're just told that you're with a delivery company. You're not told that actually you have a lot of options and it is your personal choice who you go with. So, that in mind, I left the hospital and I had hardly any supply. I was, you know, recovering from surgery. We rang Charter. I was registered with them and all I got was, you don't have any codes, so we're not doing an order. Even though, you know, it isn't that difficult. It is on their system. They could just put catheter bags. Yes, a lot of ones come up, but, you know, like... It was a mountain made out of a molehill, let's just put it that way. I wasn't given any help, I wasn't told where to find the codes, I was just told no, you can't order. We ended up going back to the hospital and a nurse ordered for me. So that was my first experience with Charter. It wasn't good at all. The next experience I had was they struggled to get some things in stock, like belly bags for example, which, do you know what, during the summer it is hard to get hold of them no matter what company you're with, but Charter really did struggle. Another thing that did happen towards the end, I ended up having a lady who was very rude to me. So I moved from Canterbury, Kent to Leicester over a year ago. However, my supplies were, there was no problem with them changing my address on the system to begin with, and for some reason after a year of them sending them to this address, they decided they wasn't going to send it to this address and kept sending it to my old address, despite the fact that I was very vocal about not living there. And so they ended up wasting 2-3 prescriptions worth of supplies, and I went 3 months without anything. Which, you know, you make a back stock with your supplies for simple things like this. Like, this does happen sometimes. Sometimes things are delayed, sometimes I don't have them in stock, so you make a back stock. Yeah, I was going without supplies. They were just not helpful at all. And then when I stressed the fact that, look, I've got 1 catheter left and I have tube changes every 4 weeks, you know, I need my medical supplies, they weren't interested. In fact, she was just really rude to me, so I made the decision to switch. A good experience I had with Charter, once the delivery man, instead of leaving it outside my door as instructed, so when you're not in, you have an option to have it left in a safe place, which is what I did. And you know, when you go in to and fro hospital, you can't always be in for a delivery, so instead of leaving it outside my door, he actually gave it to a neighbour who opened the box, and obviously it's medical supplies, I couldn't risk using them. Charter did resend the box pretty straight away, and that was good. That was a good experience with them. They're not terrible, I just want to say that now. Like, Charter's not a bad company whatsoever. However, I wasn't getting along with them, and just like the different materials of catheters, you have to get along with your company to make your life easier. So I did switch to Bullens. Now, Bullens from the start has been very different. I had a very warm welcome in. I was told different complimentary items, even down to mattress protectors, which I never knew that you could get. I didn't ask for them, they offered me them, which I will show in a minute. I have had 2 boxes from them so far, the one that I'm going to show you in a minute, and one beforehand, so I'm very new to the company. I mean, there's going to be little hiccups here and there, everyone's human. So far, it's been okay. They did leave out my washout bulbs, so it'll be quite interesting to see if they've put them in today. They did change my syringe as well. I did ask for them syringes to be changed, so I'd be a bit interested to see if they did change them. What else happened? To be honest, like, it's nothing major, it's just little things, and it's the teething issues where it's just started. Also give me a can't wait card, as well as a radar key to get into any disabled toilets, like for example at service stations, certain restaurants, etc. I was never given anything like that from Charter. They, like I said, they did offer a mattress protector, they did offer bed pads, there are nurses that you can talk to, incontinence nurses, etc. They also do all the ostomy supplies. Obviously I'm waiting for a loupiliostomy now, I'm just waiting for the op. So for me, a main thing was I wanted to have a company that I can rely on with ostomy supplies, because there's one thing having catheter supplies and then there's another thing having an ostomy. You know, I could not deal with the extra stress, so that is why I decided to change. It's nothing against Charter, it's just it wasn't working for me, and if it's not working for you, try something else, because at the end of the day, yes, they are a delivery company, but it's your life, it has to fit into your life, and I've said this many times, your medical device has to fit into your life, otherwise yes, it does become this massive thing. If you can hear puppies in the background, I am so sorry. I will have my own place soon, and we will be able to actually film one of these videos without interruption. And there's a big difference between Charter and Bullens. When it comes to ordering, there's a huge difference. So Charter, you ring yourself, you order every month, every 2 weeks, whenever, and then what's meant to happen is the prescription goes through to your GP surgery, they okay it, and then your things are sent out. Now Charter have this thing where they like to, this is my experience again, they like for you to ring the GP surgery to get them to okay the prescription. If you're a receptionist in your GP surgery or anything like mine, it's the last thing you want to do. It's uncomfortable, it's annoying, it's frustrating, and they can be quite rude. So what is meant to happen is they set it up that it's done automatically so you don't ring. However, you have to literally, I had to at least, beg for that to happen. It wasn't easy whatsoever. However, Bullens, they ring you every month to ask you about supplies. So you literally get a phone call every month. They give a set date where they ring you and say like, what supplies do you need a full order, etc. It's done, it's sent to the GP surgery, it's okayed, and it's sent to your house. It has been very simple, like in comparison between the two. Bullens has definitely been easier, and again, I'm very new with them, so that might change. I hope not, but so far it's been very good, especially when it comes to complimentary items. I mean, you get complimentary items. So complimentary items, what are they? They are not your bags or your tubes, etc. They are like wet wipes, dry wipes, that sort of thing. So there is again a difference between Bullens and Charter. again, just my experience. If you managed to get more out of Charter, congratulations. I didn't. All I got from Charter as complimentary items was the black bags, the wet wipes, the dry wipes, and if you asked every now and then, you'd be able to get a nightstand. For Bullens, on the first order, like I said, I got the can't wait card, I got the radar key. They ordered a mattress protector for my second order. You don't get it in the first order, you get it in the second. They put in some complimentary bed pads. They did the usual black bags, dry wipes, wet wipes. They did give me a nightstand as well. They offered antibacterial gel. They offered a mirror. Like, there was loads of different things that they offered me as a complimentary item. So you definitely get more from Bullens. And again, very new with them. However, that has been my experience so far. You get more. Whereas Charter, you seem to get almost the basics, which is completely fine. Like, I went 2 years with the basics and, you know, you live. However, it is really nice to know that I haven't got to spend God knows how much money on, for example, a mattress protector. Now, the unboxing. I try and lift the box up. They are big boxes, and I know, like, when I was waiting for Flo, I was very curious to see what it would look like. So I'll show you everything now. Bear with me, because it is a hefty box. I have already opened it, just so you haven't got to watch me struggling to open the box. So I'll start off with the mattress protector. So it looks like this. They did offer whatever size my bed was, so I have a double bed at the minute, so I obviously opted for a double. However, they did do like king size, singles, whatever, so you know, they are not just for one size bed, which is brilliant. They are also machine washable as well, so that's great. I'm going to do my best to go through this as quick as possible, in as much detail as possible as well. So to start with, I got a nightstand, which I don't really use nightstands. I get asked this a lot. I personally just leave Flo on the floor. I know not everyone agrees with it, but it works. So this is the nightstand that you get from Bullens. So you just clip it on like that. It looks like that. You obviously put your bag on and it sits. So that was one of the things I got. Everything comes in sterile packaging. Obviously not so much the nightstand, because the nightstand doesn't need to be sterile. However, it does come in a box. It's very easy to shove under the bed if you need to, or put in a corner. Everything can be kind of put away. Like I said before, it is you storing it. So if you go order the wacky wonderful 6,000 boxes, them 6,000 boxes you have to store. So I always find that I use the products that I need and that I actually use. So for example, I don't use leg bags, so I don't order leg bags every time. I'll maybe order one every so many months, but I order night bags every single time because I use them the most. Or, you know, for example, where I'm not using leg bags, I don't necessarily order the leg bag covers and stuff because I'm not using them. There's no point. I would have to store them every single time and I would end up with boxes and boxes and boxes of them. So obviously keep that in mind when you're ordering your stuff. Obviously everything is prescriptions. You can't go OTT unless your GP surgery okays it. The story, just order what you need. And if you're like not sure, or you've got like a stock of, for example, belly bags, yeah, order them because it's your back stock. What I'm saying is don't order things you know you're not going to use. Like for example, leg bags, I know I'm not going to use them, so I very rarely order them. So next up I have my box of night bags. So they come like this, for anyone wondering, because I know a lot of you are like not actually sure, and I think it's helpful to see it all before. But I will say they are impossible to open up. So it comes like this. You get 10. They're literally just the basic night bags. So that was a leg bag then. It's not, it's a night bag. So they're the 2 litres. And you can either store it in this box, or you can do what I do and put it in my stack drawers. I will do a video on storage if everyone's interested in that. I have tried quite a few different things over the 2 years. And I think I've cracked it. I think I've got the right right storage now that works, that stays hygienic, that's easy to clean, etc. So if anyone's interested, definitely leave it below and I will do that video as well. Okay, next up, so like they give you a reminder card, which is great. So it pretty much just says the date that they'll be ringing for your next order, which this is brilliant. If you're like me and you've got 101 things going on and you can't necessarily remember absolutely everything, this is great because it just tells you like this is when your order's due, this is when we'll be ringing. And I do find if they ring and I miss the phone call, they leave a voicemail to ring back, so that's good as well. I looked in the box and there's some weird things in here. I mean, I had a bit of a heart attack because I used certain tubes, so I just talk about that first. I used the all silicone Link medical open tip catheter, not to be confused with the Opti tip. There is a big difference. The Opti tip does have another drainage hole and I found that cut me. It's not very good for suprapubic catheters. Obviously where our catheter sits is slightly different. We have a suprapubic tract that is now formed, whereas you with a urethral catheter, the catheter goes into obviously your urethra, so there's a bit more room for that extra drainage hole, whereas with a suprapubic catheter there's not. So I find that the Opti tip is not suitable at all. I mean, you're welcome to try it. It is a decent catheter. Honestly, the thing that drew me to it was the extra drainage hole. However, it's the extra drainage hole that does not make it suitable for suprapubic catheter users, unfortunately. However, the open tip catheter is really good. I do get less blockages, etc., and I highly recommend it. I can already see that they have changed my catheter syringes. Now I wish I had one to compare it to of my old ones. I can already tell that the tip is completely different, so you know I am a bit concerned that that's not going to fit. However, we'll give them a go. I get 6, I do believe. So they're what comes on my prescription. I use them with the OptiFlow bulb, which if they have put them in, I will show you them now. I'm just going to rummage through. They have. Thank God. I was getting a bit worried. So I also end up with 6 of the OptiFlow bulbs. If your hands are like me and you've got lessened mobility, I cannot physically hold this in to my catheter and squeeze it and hold it long enough for there to be an adequate washout. So what I actually do is everything in this packaging is completely sterile. That includes the cap. So when I take it off, I will insert the liquid into the cap and use the syringe to suckage it up, and it's still sterile, and I highly recommend doing that. I've been doing that for about 2 years now. As soon as I realised that, you know, I couldn't properly hold on to it and it was just hurting my hands, this is the perfect partnership. Next up, we'll do the complimentary items as I can see them. So you get a pack of the wet wipes. Charters look very similar. In fact, they actually look exactly the same. They've just got their different companies on them. They're just basic wet wipes. I do believe you're not allowed to use these around a stoma. I know that these might be different. I know that the Charter ones you can't use around a stoma. However, these seem to be completely fine. They just say for external use, avoid using near the eyes and mouth, reseal the package to keep moist. Next up, we have the black bags. These, honestly, to begin with, I thought that these were a waste of time. However, these hold so much. They're perfect if you do your own washouts. They're really good if, like for other different things as well, medical wise. They hold so much more than I actually realised. Definitely get these. I mean, they're complimentary items. There's no harm in getting them in your box. I mean, they're very small, as you can see. You just stick them in the drawer. They're easy to do. Another thing that they give you as a complimentary item is the dry wipes. Again, I used to think these were completely stupid. However, when you have an infection and you're bypassing, folding one of these up and putting it near your urethra, I'm sorry men, I know you can't really do it, for a woman, saves your bed. Trust me, they're quite absorbent. I mean, they're not the best absorbent, but like they are pretty good. They're gentle. There's no scent to them, so they're completely fine around your private area. Another complimentary item they gave me this time was some bed pads. I think there's only 1 or 2 there. I think that looks like there's 2. I mean, these are completely new for me because, you know, I never got bed pads from Charter. So the fact that Balloons does this is great. And if you've got a lot of incontinence, I do believe they give you more. And I do believe that they can also give you pull-ups. So, you know, if you've had to go buy them, you know how expensive it gets. I used to buy the bed pads from Asda, a pack of 10 I do believe it was, for £5, so they were really good. However, you know, that £5 adds up very quickly. Next up we have another complimentary item. They give this little antibacterial gel. I feel like it's really cute that they put everything in different packaging, even though, you know, more plastic. I feel like that is a huge thing with medical supplies. You have so much plastic, so many boxes, there's so much waste, it's insane. Unfortunately, especially with things being sterile, it's kind of impossible to not have this amount of stuff. I wish there was a way that we didn't have to have this amount of stuff, like, you know, but we roll. But yeah, this is just a hand sanitizer, which is great. There's something that Charter didn't give, was hand sanitizer, and when you're doing washouts and stuff, like, obviously you have to use it. Okay, so I'm freaking out a little bit because normally what I get is 2 Link Medical catheters, and I can already see that they have definitely not put 2 in, and they've decided to put 2 other different things in. And if you're like me and you've found a catheter that works, you don't want any other ones, because you know, like, from experience, that other things didn't go too well. And, you know, a month is a long time to be in pain, a very long time. So I can see that they've put 2 blue boxes. Now I'm going to assume that these are catheters. Now they've said, yeah, so they're all silicone, however they are definitely not anywhere near what I would use. I'm going to open it for the simple fact they cannot use these now. Even if they came and picked them up, they could not use them. How strange. So this actually is kind of brilliant for you guys, because it solidifies what I'm saying about you need a back stock, because things like this happen. This is completely the wrong catheter. I will not be using these, hence why I'm opening one. If anyone like does any bare products and stuff and would like it, or yeah, you could, yeah, like, no. So this is what it looks like. I mean, at least you guys are going to see what a catheter looks like. It's so different. Oh, it is the right size. I mean, it looks completely different to Flo. It is all silicone. However, I can tell, like, this bit is completely different to Link Medical. I will get it out to show you, but it looks like I'm going to kind of need that. Has one drainage hole. It's not open tipped. It is completely... I'm not happy with that whatsoever. Obviously this is not sterile now, so, well, it wouldn't be going into me anyway. But in the name of education, I mean, yeah, it stuck to me too. This video has gone in a complete different direction, but oh well, we roll. I'll show you what it looks like with the balloon, because I think it's important for you to see what happens inside your body. So I like that it comes with all these bits. However, so does Link Medical. Obviously this would be sterile water, this is not sterile anymore. And you can see how that's coming here. So the balloon is even different with this one. So this is obviously going to be 10 mils. So you can actually see, like, that is crazy. That's 10 mils. So what happens is when this is in, that's how much room it would have inside the bladder. So this one is very small. And then obviously it sits, this would be your suprapubic tract or your urethra, and this is your bladder wall, and so it can't be pulled out, see? But see how this one has just deflated itself? Yeah, I'm never using this. That has just deflated 6 mil. In fact, it's still trying to deflate itself. Moral of the story, I will not be using that brand. Not a chance. Yeah, I'm just not keen in any aspect of this. It's not even letting me remove what's left now. I re-inflated it, but it's just not. It's very poorly designed. If anyone uses these, switch. No offense to this brand or anything, I just think the Link Medical ones are better. I'm just gonna be honest. Obviously this all needs to go in the bin, but I hope you guys could see what I mean. Like, it's quite interesting. However, this has got such a digit there that I think that would be quite a painful tube change. So, no from me, absolute fuck no. Moving on very swiftly because I need to clearly make a phone call. They've also put in my urethainers. So I use these are very good to help preserve bladder function. If you are like me and have a constant free flow catheter, so e.g. I don't use a flip flow, my bladder is allowed to drain 24/7. I have no intentions of reverting back to my past life without a suprapubic catheter. My life is so much better with one. So, you know, bladder function or bladder capacity, even though mine was so small anyway, is not my priority. My priority is comfort, and my priority is to be able to live, and a flip flow unfortunately does not give me that. I know some people love them, I personally don't. That doesn't mean you won't, can I just say that? Everyone is different. But yeah, these are great if you're wanting to preserve some bladder capacity, because at the end of the day my bladder has no choice but to hold on. Say it has no choice. I am diagnosed with urinary urgency and incontinence amongst other things, so when my bladder decides it wants to go, it goes. I have no choice. However, this allows me to try and maintain some of that function. It makes doing things like high assist slightly easier. So, you know, if you're the same as me and you are wanting to be free flow, maybe ask for a urethainer. It does count as a washout as well. You don't have to do urethainer and OptiFlow bulb. I just choose to do both. I feel like an OptiFlow bulb gives a better washout, whereas a urethainer I use as a quick one. Next up we have Clinifix. So they look a little like this. I say they look like a big plaster. They are latex free for anyone with a latex allergy, or if you're just sensitive like me. They are brilliant if you want to have some sexy time, if you just want to secure your tube underneath a dress or shorts, or if you just want to secure your tube in general. I find that these are a lot more tame on the skin than other leading brands like Fix or Statlots, especially Statlots. I found they were quite harsh. I do have Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, so you know I am a bit tricky, but yeah, I highly recommend these ones. They come in a box of 10. You can either store them as they are, because they are in sterile packaging, or you can store them in the box. It's completely up to you. Last but not least is the belly bags. I love these. The belly bags are great, absolutely brilliant if you want to dress up and you haven't got to have like a bag of pee attached to your leg or in a backpack like I do. These are just under whatever you're wearing. No one can see them, no one can tell. You can wear jeans, there's nothing stopping you from wearing anything with these. They do have an adjustable strap. I will do a whole video on them because, to be honest, they are so worth it. They are hard to get hold of though, so I normally end up getting two. My biggest bit of advice, if you want to wear these in the summer, is to order them all year round. So even in the winter when you might not necessarily use them, order them, because then you get a back stock, and it's the back stock that gets you through summer. That was my, I guess, unboxing haul of my monthly supplies. These are probably my basic ones. I do every now and then add leg bags or leg belt holders, etc. in. However, this is what I get majority of the time, so I thought it would be the better one to show. Yeah, obviously this is my second order with Bullens. There is a slight mistake on one of the catheters, which is fine. We will sort that. I simply just ring and I tell them, and they will send another Link Medical one instead. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it was helpful. If you have any video ideas that you want me to do, please leave them down below and I will take them into consideration. It's nice to know what you guys actually want to hear from me instead of me just assuming. So yeah, definitely leave it down below. And as always, think awareness, not attention.